Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to Jaw Jacking with Bob and TC on IntellectualRadio.com. Again, that's IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, B.O.B. Bob, but I will go by the name of Robert Lee Orr Jr. if you insist on being formal. And as always, from the south side of Chicago, Illinois, give it up for my main man, Mark Teese. TC was senior. TC, what's up?
What up, Bob? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? I'm doing good, man.
It's been a rough week for me. I'm not
know.
gonna lie, man. I want to send my condolences and prayers out to Brandy.
Freeman?
From the hood. Brandy Freeman from the hood. She lost her daughter to senseless violence.
What the daughter name was? Brittany Freeman?
Yeah, Brittany Freeman.
Young girl.
Yeah, it was, our heart go out to you. We already talked, Brandy, so we ain't gotta do that TV stuff. I'm here for you. Then my cousin Delcina lost her daughter, Toya Charmel. Toya lost her life a battle with diabetes.
Really?
Yeah, so she passed this weekend also. So
you told me she was named after our friend, Charmel.
Yeah, man. Charmel's my girlfriend in third grade, man. And my cousin was pregnant. She liked Charmel's name. She kept having her saying her name all the time, Charmel. That she saw a cute little girl. She's nice, and she named her daughter Charmel, middle name Latoya Charmel.
Hey, well, we on the Voices of Change, we got a Chamel without the R in it. So that was kind of close. It was kind of close.
It don't count, though.
It was kind of close. But anyway, welcome to Jaw Jacking with Bob and TC. The call-in number is 708-223-8953. I want you to tell everybody about your club real quick, TC.
Yeah, before I do that, I just want to say something, too, about this, man. It's like, you're getting tired, man. Okay. What's going on out here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You read it all the time, all the deaths, but when it gets to somebody like when it happens like this, man, and to see with Brandy, it just rests different. I guess because when it's involved, it feels different. I guess
when it hit home,
yeah, man,
it really hit home. This time, I think we all got that sober type of mood.
Yeah,
about the situation. I mean, you just got to keep pressing on. Some situations and some deaths sort of hit the whole situation in a different way. It hit all our mindset in a way, and this one was definitely one of them. It's a few years ago we had Mikey Haynes die, and I think it had a similar effect on us because he was from the hood, but he was one of the young kids from the hood. And when you see the young kids like that, even going through what we went through, I wanted to take a minute, if we can, to see how much range we actually have to say the names of everybody in our memory bank that has been affected with senseless crimes or been impacted by getting locked up or been murdered. I don't know how far I range. I can start with Juan, which is my sister's kid father, Juan, Steve Banks. I'm trying to throw some names out there so I won't forget. Steve Banks, that was in our neighborhood. Big Hub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about regardless of whether they was the perpetrator or not, it's like an impact to our perception.
My cousin
Sean Newstetter.
Yeah.
That was he died at Finger Homecoming night. I remember that.
Yeah.
Off of this gang banging type thing, this gang banging. I mean, we weaving the gang banging thing in is. It's gonna be crime that's always out there, but it has a certain feel. There's a certain feel to unnecessary. It's like some of this stuff seems avoidable. Richie, your cousin Richie.
Yeah, my cousin.
Jamie. Jamie was. I'm talking about the people that was impacted or affected by a lack of guidance. I think that's what I'm talking about. It could have been a different level of guidance to some of these people, some of these young individuals in our neighborhood. I mean, you got a plethora of situations that people actually created these crimes or did these crimes or whatever. But we have a broad range of impact in our neighborhood that has nothing to do with white people. It has nothing to do with nothing else outside of our element.
But
go ahead, I'm listening.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
And what? You don't agree with?
That because I believe, in my opinion, the way I look at it, what we're going through is a result of what white people did to our people. Period. What's going on in our neighborhoods? What's going on in our neighborhoods? What's going on in certain communities? You know, it's hard for me to sit there and try to blame somebody. And don't get me wrong, we got to be accountable for our own actions. We also got to be reality, man. We can't just sit there and say, why y'all like this when it was designed for them to be that way. I mean, you got to be real. You can't tell me how you going to say what they doing or how they doing. Yeah, they can make different decisions. I agree with that. But it also depends on the situation they in. And what the situation they in 9 out of 10 is not the best situation. So it's like, let's be real for a minute. You're in a neighborhood that's messed up and it's drug infested. You don't like the drug dealers, so you just talk all bad about how the black people need to quit selling drugs and how the drugs in the neighborhood and they messing our neighborhood up. But nobody want to focus on how the black people even get the drugs and what parts of neighborhoods they dropped them in and what that they don't even be addressed. But then you want to talk about the result of that action. So yeah, white people got a big hand in it. A real big hand in it, and a lot of things going on in our neighborhood.
I know how you feel.
It's the results of it, though. That's what
I know. You know, and it's like at this moment in time, you know, this is not a debate.
No, we're not debating.
For me, I know, you know, it's like I'm not going to debate it.
No.
What I am saying is that it's unfortunate that, you know, when I'm saying from a prideful standpoint that a lot of the black community are unfortunately losing, regardless of, you know, what. And there's some level of impactful control that we gotta be able to say, you know, we need to be aware of. You know, it's like this. Our show is not a commercial show. We don't have that
right
articulate breakdown like what we need to do and all of that. What I'm saying is some of these situations impact us the same way. They impact us. They affect us. And this is clearly one that personally affects me to the point where I just want to say, what information can we get to our generation? What information can we provide the people of our generation where they make conscientious decisions to, you know, make a difference about what's going on around them? So today we got a guest that's coming on the show today, Trinell Thomas, longtime guest
in the building,
Morgan Park, south side of Chicago. It's going to help us navigate.
Before we bring Trinell in 1 minute, brother, I want to say what's up and congratulations to Quentin. You know, he got married yesterday.
Oh, yeah, and congratulations, Quentin Brown.
Then out the country, Latasha Atkins on Vincent got married yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday I thought she was married already. But
so congratulations to the couples, you know what I'm saying? The Browns in the building. Congratulations, Tasha. Don't get me wrong, I don't know your husband's last name, but congratulations to y'all situations too, man. I'm proud of y'all. I hope they prosper, have a good marriage, and live life long and all that good stuff.
Before we go on this break, though, man, you see I got my Bears shirt on. I want to ask you what's going on with the Chicago Bears draft. It's coming up next Thursday. How would you give me your first round prediction of who you think they should get?
You know,
I already know who you
right. I'm off of it because you know what I'm saying, mostly just critics and scouts are like white people, so they think different than me.
White people.
Yeah, they think different than me.
Todd McShay and
the person the Bears supposed to get and mark this show down. Look at the camera. Mark this show down. We're gonna look back. If they don't get Peppers from Michigan, if they don't get Jabril Peppers from Michigan, they're gonna regret it. Watch this. They're gonna regret that.
Now my take is this. Now I want you to look at this whole. My take is I want to get the dude from LSU, the running back, Leonard Fournette. It don't make no logical sense why we should get a running back. Somebody gonna be arguing me. Oh, we already got Josh. I don't care about that. Sometimes the number 3, when you got the number 3 overall pick, you got to get the best player. And if number 3, Fournette is going to be the best player. Remember, I said it here first on Jaw Jacking. Remember it forever. He's gonna be the best player in this draft at number 3 for us.
And watch, neither one of us is picking, so they're gonna pick somebody that neither one of us want.
Jamal Adams.
Right, they're gonna pick somebody.
Anyway, on the other side of the break, we got Trinell Thomas coming up. So hey, we'll see you on the other side of the break on Jaw Jacking Bob and TC.
Intellectual Radio.
Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome back to Joe Jackin with Bob and TC on IntellectualRadio.com. We got a special guest in the building today from South Side of Chicago, Illinois. Man, used to be a wrestler back in the day.
Yes, it was tough
From
wrestler
the South
too.
Side,
Our boy,
for CEO himself, Janelle Thomas.
What's up, brother? Awesome. How you guys doing?
What's going on, brother?
Be out here dwelling with brothers from a similar kind, neighborhood, Morgan Park.
Yes, sir. We went to Edmond.
It's always a pleasure to see friendly faces.
Yeah. You was always a cool, laid back brother, man.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to him on the phone, man. This dude was hitting me with the whole Billy D. Williams voice.
Oh
man.
yeah, I always been cool.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm just doing my thing out here in Bolingbrook. It's out there in Bolingbrook, man. Real quickly, man. Tell us, you're the CEO of TRA. Tell us, first of all, tell us what TRA stands for.
Well, initially, the first three letters of my name is Trineo, TRA, but it actually stands for trustworthy, reliable, and affordable. Okay. And my specialty is firearm training, of course. When Illinois first adopted the Concealed Carry Act, prices were quite high, so most folks couldn't afford it. So what I did is not only made the prices affordable, but you're getting it from one of the best, and somebody who has integrity, trustworthy, and I've been around the world, so I think I am a reliable asset when it comes to the concealed carry world.
Okay, I want you to weave in and out of the reason, how long you've been doing this, and with the experience that you have in law enforcement. Tell us why you got into law enforcement. I didn't take you as that type of dude that didn't get into law enforcement back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You was a wrestler. Now I know you would put somebody in the full Nelson or something, but what sparked you? What sparked you to get into this field as a career? What sparked you?
I really had no, I didn't grow up wanting to be a police officer. It was not nothing. That was part of my agenda, growing up in poor community, not having a lot growing up. My goal was to be a businessman. However, I didn't have the business mentors to tell me what type of business I need to be into. So as I was growing up as a young youth in the Morgan Park area, I could say I was becoming a bit quite reckless. And when a young lady told me that she was pregnant with my daughter, I knew that the lifestyle I was living then wasn't going to help me raise that child. So I enlisted in the Marine Corps and served the country for 4 years from 94 to 98. After I got out in 98, I worked at the Art Institute of Chicago as an electrician. That was my job while I was in the Marines. But I felt the need to still be in the uniform, the need to help people versus just make money. So without going back into the service, the only way I can do that was to join the local police departments.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do what you call get informal. Let's just relax, get informal. Sometimes our interviews we can be formal, man. We can be extra formal. You got your hat with the certain trajectory. First of all, I want to say I salute all of the active duty military, retired duty military, all of the forces for serving our country. It's a volunteer, conscientious decision that people make to put themselves in harm's way all around the world, and we commend you. We support you. All active duty military, all retired, all reservists, everybody matters, and even what you call the frontline citizens that can form into a militia.
Yeah.
So I want to bring up the second constitutional right about us having a right to form a militia and the right to carry to bear arms. So I want you to talk about the right to carry bear arms, where you stand on that, and how you think that plays out in our society, and also how you think that plays out in the current state of what needs to happen in the communities, the Black communities, the way that's playing out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am pro Second Amendment. I'm pro any right that we have as citizens of, believe it or not, a great country. Not many other countries are afforded the freedom that we have here in this country, which is why we got a great majority of other foreigners trying to come here and enjoy our same freedoms. I am pro Second Amendment. And I believe for me, it's about being prepared. And we'll talk about forming a well-armed militia. Folks look at that it stems from the Civil War days when we had states at war with one another. But for me, it goes deeper than that. In this day of terrorism, any group, or we got now American-made terrorists in our country. So at any given time, you may find yourself in your community having to lead a group of people until those who are trained and paid to fight get there. So I think for me, it's just about being prepared.
I'm Homeland Security. I'm already ready. You know what I'm saying? If something pop off right now, man, all my gun may not be registered though, so I might have to go bury it in the dirt or something like that.
Well, you see, and that's the thing about registration. Chicago had that law years ago that was declared unconstitutional.
Okay.
So the only time the gun is registered, officially registered, is when you purchased it. That's when the gun is in your name, and it pretty much stays in your name because guns don't work like automobiles where the title changes. So when you purchase a gun in your name, whether you sell it to another person or lose it, it's still always going to find its way back to you.
So here's the thing, though. Go ahead, TC.
No, go answer that question. I got a different question.
Here's the thing, though.
I got some different questions.
I was thinking about this, though. I seen a list of the 10 worst states for gun control laws in United States. I think Rhode Island was number 10. Illinois was number 9. They was on the list. They made the list, meaning that they make it harder for citizens to get the right to carry. Are you familiar with that concept or that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Illinois has the most strenuous laws as it pertains to concealed carry. However, I do think the application process is fair, meaning, I don't get the argument about background checks. I think before you purchase a firearm, you should pass a background check, and you should be mentally capable of owning a firearm. So I'm okay with that. Illinois is also a fee-driven state. So when it comes to the cost of obtaining a concealed carry license, Illinois is among the highest in the country.
No, really? Go ahead, TC. I know you had a question.
No, my question is just let me know how far what you can answer. You know what I'm saying? What you can say. Okay. Because I got my people out there. Herm, remember Herman Young? Herm said,
what's up, Herm? Navy guy.
Said, what's up, Damon Eaton?
Okay. I saw Damon at Governor State a month ago. So
okay, yeah, so we want to with the conceal carry far as when you got the right to ask you have a gun, say you can pull it over or whatever, and you got the gun in your car with you, and we see the videos when they reach for it and shoot. Because I always told Bob the carry and conceal is a setup. There's a reason to get us. That is how I really feel, because now they know that you might have a chance to be armed. They ain't give the police or people don't give you no room. They got to protect themselves also, if that's what they say they be doing. So the point I want to know is you think it's really safe for us in the climate we going in as our people in the neighborhood to walk around and conceal and carry how they treating us in the beginning? They rough with us, pulling us over without knowing you got a gun. So the fact knowing you got a gun, they kind of risky.
Not for me and any other law enforcement officer with intelligence. I mean, let's just face it. Folk that are evil are evil. Really doesn't have anything to do with the badge. However, for me personally, I'm comforted by the fact because I know you passed the background check, and only law-abiding citizens can get this license. So for me, I'm comfortable. But I can't speak for those other officers, and there's other dynamics that taking place. You talk about me with my experience where I grew up at being a Marine. I'm just not as trigger happy or scared. And that's the problem. Many officers don't want to say that they're scared, but we do fear things when we're out there, and when we act on fear, that's where we make these mistakes. So,
what do you think? What do you think make that fear a reality?
It's not reality. It's
I'm talking about for the officers.
For the officers,
they got a fear and they start responding acting on that fear.
Right.
So what makes that a reality to them? What are they basing that on?
And it is pretty much their reality. It's based on ignorance. You don't know. If you don't know a people, then you judge a people. And the media doesn't help us an awful lot because, and when you see the news, most African Americans or all the crimes are shown in these communities. And these are not made up crimes. This is what's actually happened. So if you don't know, you're not familiar with a certain culture, when you come across, I can guarantee you, I got some folks that have never been in Inglewood, but when they step foot in Inglewood, they're going to be in a panic, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, or any color. So it's just a matter of not knowing. I think that we were all blessed because when we were in Morgan Park High School, it was one of diversity. So we had all sorts of cultures there. But the reality is not every person, not every American is exposed to culture. And that's one of the problems we have when this fear is induced, is because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I want to say it,
man.
I know we ain't seen Chanel in a long time. He come back here like a CEO.
Right.
You sound like a CEO.
Talk about your CEO part. How you like? Talk to about.
I mean, you hear a lot of folks making comments about what's going on and what's this and that, but I am blessed. Having been raised where I was raised and walked the walks of life that I've walked among all sorts of people. So I'm able to give a more intelligent view and not a bias. And will admit I do have a bias, but at the end of the day, I respect all cultures and all ways of life. I just don't respect evilness. So.
Talk about TRA. We want to talk about TRA and the options that comes from the options that people actually have outside of just conceal and carry. You talk about pepper spray training. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, pepper spray, not everybody's going to be gun happy or want to be involved with guns, or imagine them taking someone else's life. Of course, when we talk about taking someone's life, we could only do that when our lives or the lives of our loved ones are in jeopardy. But it's fair to say there was a female on the news, I forget what state, but as she was jogging, she was sexually assaulted and murdered. Now, she may not have liked guns or even thought about guns. However, having a gun on her waist may have prevented that, or having simple pepper spray may have gave her, if she knew how to use it correctly, she used it against the offender, she could have escaped and lived. Quite often, we're complacent. We just don't think anything's going to happen to us. And the news shows that not only can it happen, but it will happen.
Hey, real quick, plug. If someone wanted to get in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you to ask more questions or to learn about the training you provide and everything that you do underneath the umbrella of your website? Or how can they get in contact with you?
Well, one or two ways. You could always visit our website at www.tra-training.com. That's www.tra-training.com. And there's a ton of other agencies and companies out there running the business. But for me, it is almost like if you want to go shopping at Macy's for Walmart prices. So you're going to get the best. Also, I'm not afraid to put my cell phone number out there. You can contact me directly at 708-557-2348, 708-557-2348, and you'll reach the CEO and hear my spiel from me as far as why you should or should not take a concealed carry course.
Oh no, let's. TC, did you have a question?
No.
Okay, let's talk about the concealed carry part. Let's edify or educate or let's educate people about the cost of conceal and carry. Let's talk about the training of conceal and carry. Let's talk about that part.
Okay, right now we're running a special through the rest of this month. It will cost a flat $100 for to take and receive a basic 16-hour training certificate that is accepted by the state of Illinois to apply for your concealed carry license. So that's our price. After that, the state has a fee, and they charge, I believe, for the application. If you are a Illinois resident, it's going to cost you $150. If you're doing it online via credit card, $153.50. They do charge a service fee. Outside of that, you may need to be fingerprinted. Most fingerprinting vendors charge $60, $60 to $65. I like to use A+ security and safety training out of Chicago, as it's ran by a good friend of mine, Richard Wooten. As far as the process of doing it, you need 16 hours of training. There's no getting around that. My courses run a little bit longer because I give extensive homework assignments, and we're not done until everybody learn what they need to know about concealed carry. And it's far beyond just basic marksmanship and firearm safety. It goes a little bit deeper than that.
What about the pepper spray training? What would that cost?
Pepper spray, that's a simple 3-hour course. All you would need to do is sign up. There's no background check for pepper spray. You sign up and learn about how to effectively use pepper spray. Or you may experience what I experienced early in my career, a long time ago, when I had to use pepper spray against an offender, and it was very windy. So I didn't pepper spray him, I pepper sprayed myself. So. Don't
you
tell
wasn't working at E2 club that night, was you?
It was close. It was secrets, and there's secrets in Dalton. Yeah, secrets. When it was in Dalton. Yeah.
I'm talking stuff. Now, remember, explain kind of like what you remember from E2. What happened to E2 that night that you thought was negligent, or they could have been handled in a different way? Real quickly, E2 was the nightclub that was close to downtown, and security sprayed the pepper spray in there. What was that? That was pepper spray, right?
Yeah. And what the result of that was just the lack of knowledge, lack of training, not knowing the effects of pepper spray, what it can do in a ventilated system. On top of the day and time that we were in during right after an immediate act of terror, where most citizens were panicky about being attacked by terrorists. So stay with my classes. Every instructor may not be the instructor for you, but you want to look in the background. Just because we wear security shirts doesn't mean we know what we're doing. So I think if the E2 owners of the E2 nightclub would have done things differently, they'd made sure they hired folks that knew what they were going to do and knew the effects of pepper spray and when not to use it.
Who designed the shirt, man? These are nice, man.
This is me, man.
The shirt and the hat, man. Well, those are nice, man.
Well, the shirt is me. This is our logo.
Okay, let me see.
I came up with the design.
Pop it out in front of the camera real quick.
Yeah, there it is. TRA.
TRA, that's nice, man.
Yeah, and the hat is one of the organizations who I'm certified to instruct.
Okay.
With my courses, I'm certified by the NRA, which is a nationally recognized organization. Do we want the NRA? Do you want to be a member of the NRA while you're carrying concealed? Yes. Would you agree with their politics all the time? Absolutely not. But when you do find yourself in a self-defense shooting and you're justified and you need somebody to have your back, there's no organization greater than NRA.
Really?
Really.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty
deep.
Mature statement the way you worded around that, Joe. How do your training set up? Because I've seen that you have trainings on the weekdays and on the weekends, so you make it accessible for everybody.
I try to. We don't get a big turnout for our weekday training. I like to have at least 10 to 20 students in my class. Many times I may only have one person sign up for a weekday class. Whatever it is, the show still goes on, whether I have 1 or 20 students. I do it mostly on the weekends and every other weekend, so I'm not tying up all my weekends. I do have family and other recreational activities I like to be involved in. So I do it twice a month on the weekends, and I schedule a weekday class. If someone signs up for it at least the week before the class, I'll continue it. But if I don't have anybody signed up within 5 days of the class, I go ahead and shut it down.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I got another question. Go ahead,
TC.
Now I want to ask you, like, what made you get into the carrying concealed? What made you want to do that? Was it the business side of it or some personal?
No, I really had no interest. Again, me being a member of the Honorable Omega Psi Phi fraternity, I had my frat brother, again, Richard Wooten. He's the owner of A+ Security and Safety Training. He needed some help, and he liked the way I conducted my business, when I was an officer in the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, Joliet chapter, New Pi. So I was the vice president of that organization, and at one point in time, the keeper of records and seals. And I was very creative with some of the things that I did and the way I kept records. So he was impressed by that and asked me to come and give him a hand. Of course, him being my line brother, I couldn't tell him no. But that's how I got involved in it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to know. How does this relate in your personal opinion? Okay, in your personal opinion, how does this relate to what's going on out here in the streets right now, for citizens to be aware about their rights? Do you think it'll make a difference or make a change if more people were carrying with the way crime is right now? I know you got to have some type of personal opinion, Yeah. And I'm not trying to ask you to jump all the way out the window from your career and what you're doing.
It's not a difficult question. If you're asking me, do I think people should carry? I think if they're legally.
No, I'm asking in a sense of, do you think people that's concealing and carrying, do you think it'll make a difference in the way these crimes are being committed in some of these areas?
Oh, absolutely not. I think.
You don't think it'll make a difference?
Well, I think if bad guys know that people are prepared to deal with them, it may make a difference. But since it's so new and it's new and people don't know, it may be a slow start. But I think if you know that if you kick in my door, you're going to be met with some resistance, I think you're going to go to the other door before you come to my door.
Resistance is a nice way of saying I'll light you up. I'll light you up with this legal stuff I got up in the crib.
But what I want to get out here though, what I want to get out here before you leave, put out here for us, because this is dear to me,
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good question. How should the young brothers act during traffic stops, man?
Doing traffic stops.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know. It's just like,
Well, what I tell my students, and this is a topic that's discussed and taught in my class. First thing, know that when you are carrying concealed, if you're driving your car that is registered to you, and you have a concealed carry license, we're gonna know when we run your license plates. I'm gonna know that you have a concealed carry license. Now, in the law states or the act states that citizens don't have to volunteer that information. However, if it's requested, you do. I do recommend as a courtesy, if an officer stops you, let them know that you are carrying concealed. In the state of paranoia and the state of fear, most officers are killed during traffic stops. So that is when you're doing a traffic stop, for me, whether it's a simple stop sign or red line, when I'm approaching that car, my heart rate is going 100 miles an hour because I don't know what I'm going to be faced with when I get to that door. So what citizens can do, again, just be compliant. If you know that you're a right-handed person and you're carrying a concealed weapon on your right hip, you may want to keep your driver's license on your left hip, or keep it in the sun visor where you can reach and is nowhere near that firearm, so that it wouldn't create a sense of panic for the officer. If it's night, turn on a dome light. Let the officer know that you're in no way, by no means, trying to hurt him or her. So it's just about knowing that you carry and conceal. You're responsible as a citizen. So you want to, ease the fear that officers may have as they're approaching you in a traffic stop.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Because a lot of times a lot of these videos you watch, I mean, we actually have footage now with the way media is, social media is. We have footage of these interactions. A lot of times this footage is showing, it's a very thin line because it's showing which resistance. It's showing forms of resistance. And I know we all have rights.
And when you say resistance, as far as
the lack of compliance.
Okay, yeah,
it's like a lack of compliance.
That's common, yeah.
I mean, in a lack of compliance, even if it's a lack of compliance, though, there shouldn't be an overreaction. But I do see a lack of compliance. I see both.
Right.
And I'm just that's why that's a good question, because how do you take that lack of frustration that you may have with what to be almost feel like a stereotypical stop, so define for us if it's possible that this is a stereotypical stop, or is the stereotypical stop wrong or right? Is it wrong or right to profile that situation?
Well, know that there's laws to protect against any racial profiling or stereotype stop. However, to fight that battle on the street during the traffic stop is a no-win situation, because what you're doing, you're still not complying. What we need to do as intelligent people is document what's happening to us. Why do I feel that I'm being stereotyped? Why do I feel that I'm being racially profiled? Can I articulate that to the officer supervisor if this indeed the case, rather than assuming you're just stopping me because I'm black? But you have to have a rationale with that, and we have to be able to articulate that. If you are feel that you are stopped inappropriately, then know that you could get the officer's name and badge number and go speak to his supervisor. If you're not satisfied with that act, to speak to the person above him. But by all means, you don't have to accept it. What I'm saying is that trying to fight the battle on the street is not going to help. It's a no-win situation.
I agree, but do you feel like as though in that same breath, do you feel as though the police officers should be more mature, more disciplined, in their knowledge of knowing? You can easily listen to a person talk and see what they're ignorant of according to the law, just off of listening to them.
Absolutely.
So it seems like a lot of these police officers in these situations escalate the situations by their personal offense. Like I'm offended that you would, won't comply to me. So it's like it goes into sometimes it goes like, man, I'm gonna break your window out, as opposed to waiting on that security officer to come on the scene. And that only happens with the black situations. I don't see that waiting on the security boss to come unless it's black situations. That's what you see, at least on social media.
And on the news of what's being out there. But it would be wrong for me to say that African Americans or black folks are the only one that suffers injustice. But you're absolutely right. The officers should know better. But we still coming off that the era. If you saw Training Day, King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Right.
However, that's the mindset of some officers. Today's officer, you'll find to be much more intelligent, much more college educated, and what I would like to see more of is departments having diversity training within their department for those officers who have not been exposed to other cultures. Maybe if we include that, I know we do in Bolingbrook, we do have diversity training. I'm not sure if other departments do that. However, if they do that, that's one way to deal with that situation.
What type of specific outreaches do you think law enforcement does, from your view, that maybe the general public don't know about, that is really missed, that there need to be more of an emphasis on that type of outreach to make them more knowledgeable, more edified? But a lot of general public don't really know about those outreaches that go. You probably get a lack of participation from those outreaches. Go ahead.
Right now, the outreach, as far as City of Chicago, I can't really question that. I don't know. But I know we are involved in a number of projects in Bolingbrook. We do have what we do with the Special Olympics. We do have our school resource officer program where we have officers in the schools to bridge that gap between the lack of understanding between the police and citizens. Do we need to do more? Can we do more? Absolutely. I think as it pertains to Chicago, in order to solve the issues, it's going to take the police department, the fire department, the mayor, the churches, and the schools to realize that there's a problem, and the problem is poverty and lack of opportunity. So we have to some way figure out how to work together to solve this common problem.
You definitely represent a solution. So I want you to look everybody in the eyes, and I want you to tell them how they need to be involved, how they need to network with you, how they need to find their way to wherever you are conducting training at, to make sure they get educated in firearm, possession, ownership. I want you to tell them, because they need to know. Tell them.
Well, the easiest way is to visit my website, www.tra-training.com. We do have our phone number is listed on there. Our address is listed on there. If you desire a course, sign up, register. It's only a $50 deposit. Or if you call me and give me your word that you'll be there, I'll hold your seat without a deposit. However, that's not the business way to do things. However, it's really not that hard. www.tratraining.com.
I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah,
thank
Chanel,
you.
real
I'm proud of you,
I'm
man.
proud of you guys,
You
man.
solutions, baby. You are solutions,
We got a
man.
radio show called Intellectual Radio. I mean, I wanted to be a part
Well,
of it.
now Earl Winfrey got a radio show called Intellectual Radio. We got a show called Jaw Jacking.
Jaw jacking, and that's what we're doing.
That's the station. Is the
Station
radio.
Okay, station. I'm sorry.
Station.
Well, correct Bob. Bob can be
I
wrong.
like that though, man. I feel we need more brothers as police officers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need more people that been, like you said, without saying, you know, that been through life.
Right.
You know, and hopefully those experiences, you know, you can't take those with you when you the person that got control over somebody else's life and their freedom. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think we need more brothers and more people, especially in our communities, that's sensitive to that. You know, understand what's really like. You know. But I'm proud of you, dog.
Oh, thank you.
Know that
like you say, I'm proud.
Yeah,
of
man, we waiting to join your.
To be a Mustang.
Yeah, we waiting to join your vigilante group. So once you start turning into a vigilante, we with you, man. We with you. We're part of the vigilante crew. We don't say our names at the meetings.
Right. Yeah.
Trainers, right? You gonna trainers go down. We're gonna be. Hey, we're gonna be ready.
Right. One more time, man. Plug. How can we get in contact with you if somebody's interested in conceal and carry and pepper spray training or any training, and you got security guard training that's coming soon.
Yes, coming soon. Yeah.
So tell us one more time, how can we get plugged with you, Chanel Thomas?
Again, www.tra-training.com. That's www.tra-training.com.
Thank you for listening to Joe Jackin with Bob and TC on Intellectual Radio. We will see you next week. Peace.